Prestige worldwide. Wide.
Nanoscience. Nanoscience is the branch of science that uses special properties of particles that are a billionth of a meter in size. That's 10 to the negative ninth meters. It's hard to imagine how incredibly small that is. In perspective, if we were to compare our size to that of the United States and our size to a nanoparticle, we are much, much closer to the size of the United States. It takes about 10 atoms, the basic unit of matter, to make up 1 nanometer. Particles this size possess special properties that allow us to achieve things technologically that we previously never thought would be possible. Scientists first started researching nanoparticles in the late 1970s and 1980s after the invention of the scanning probe microscope. Scanning probe microscope refers to the family of microscopes that use a sharp electrically charged probe to scan objects rather than use light to see them. The atomic force microscope allowed scientists to manipulate atoms and see them. By doing this, scientists realized that on a nanoscale, elements and compounds had very different properties. For example, when we see gold, it's a shiny yellow color, but 1 nanometer of gold is actually red.
Today, just in the United States, the government invests $1.8 billion per year in nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is used in over $1 trillion worth of products each year in the world market. By 2020, that number will increase from $1 to $3 trillion per year. Nanoscience is worth so much because it can change how every person in the world lives their lives. For example, the iPhone would not exist if it wasn't for nanotechnology. There are hundreds of thousands of cells in an iPhone processor that store memory. Without nanotechnology, an iPhone would have to be the size of a small house in order to have the same amount of computing power as the one that fits in your pocket.
Nanotechnology can be used in hundreds of ways. For example, by combining nanotechnology and biological systems engineering, Dr. Peter Weichseln is creating a handheld device that can detect viruses, bacteria, protozoa, minerals, and chemicals on site. In theory, this device uses pieces of paper that contain millions of nanoparticles that detect these contaminants in water. This device could be a cheap resource that could be used on site in countries where the drinking water could be a life or death situation.
Nanotechnology is likely to change all aspects of our lives in the near and distant futures. It might allow us to solve the energy crisis by making solar panels more efficient or allowing wind turbines to store more energy. It could even allow us to find cancer cells before they affect our bodies. It will make technology smaller, more efficient, and will push the envelope as to what we can achieve.
We have seen the industrial era, we are in the middle of the biological era, and the nanotechnological era has begun, and it's going to change the way every human does things on this planet.